with paper mache comic book. The guy made beautiful, colorful, perfect for a woman who thinks I'm Mr. Fantastic, but until then, I'll embrace my Sue Storms because they remind me of all the natural disasters I've fallen in love with. This is a notice that Galactus has sucked the life out of the celestial bodies of my past. Listen to the surfer that does his bidding, silver-tongued devil that it is. It's a metaphor there. I tend to do that a lot. My ex wanted a simile. I was supposed to like the ass, but there's something about these two unlike things that we were. When you compared us, we weren't so different after all. She just wasn't ready to extend this past indulgence. I know I did it again, but it's my coping mechanism. It's how I make sense of the world around me. It's how I can convey these thoughts that are deep inside of my head. Y'all, I was getting ready for a show in DC in the bathroom beside a homeless man. For a moment, we were both exactly the same, trying to make ourselves look presentable, only he lived this way. And I was trying to look like I didn't live like him because some days we're afraid to be free. I want to tell poets to stop wearing camouflage. The passion, rebellion, and truth in your voice will make them afraid of you. They will try to deny your impact. And how long before they start to call you insurgent? I want to tell our young black babies to stop walking with their hands up. Looks too much like walking across burning sands, carrying a cross. How long before they scripture you in the asphalt Bibles, read like Jesus' last words? I drove into a parking deck with my friends behind me. I went in and passed empty opportunity. I went up the ramp. They stayed behind me, then cussed me out for passing up the good spots. I was just leaving them space to choose. How did I become responsible for their inability to make their own decisions? Some days I don't feel like teaching. Y'all, I write in metaphor because I was taught that princes with mediocre work ethic will never become kings here. So I graffiti bridge God's bruised tears to a red reminder that the night does not love us. I'm sorry. I did it again. I met a woman who is a builder. She said she had a brain tumor. After establishing a successful tutoring program, she said she needed something else to build before the high interest loan with the balloon payment foreclosed on her. I remember meeting a woman who said she hadn't written in 6 years since her father committed suicide. She said she lost the words. After she saw me perform, she walked up and she told me she found them again. The next morning, she sent me the poem that she had wrote that night. The words were bedtime stories. She finally got used to the fact that her father would be the one who was always sleeping. Y'all, I'm just a stained glass window, a beautiful mosaic that everyone marvels at whole, calls beautiful, but never bothers to understand the pieces. There is a bookshelf full of hardbound books that everyone calls old and doesn't want to read anymore, a nursing home full of stories. But if you look in their eyes, you will find a table of contents is perseverance, and there is wisdom in their voices. In those pages, you can find everything that you need to know. I write in metaphor because I have these stories that need to be told. An unemployment line of insecurities forming on the pages of my notebooks. A social service line of information. And I give them to you, putting them to work in your mind so you know that there is always more work to do. And I wonder what happens when I tell these stories. Do you recognize how powerful they can be? There is something about words written on paper, like ink on parchment, like posters that told the tale of welt-whipped fireflies. They were brought over on ships, bottled like model ships, and now oppressors pour them like fine wine in the sports and entertainment. They died in them cotton fields. Their narrative was written in indelible ink, and sometimes I wonder if oppressors laugh when we airbrush obituaries on white tees. Sometimes I think about what it means for God to watch it all. For me to use these gifts he gave me, this uncanny ability to compare two unlike things, to make life tangible, this heaven and hell, this gift and this curse, this promise and possibility, for me to use these metaphors.